Take him. 2.
The Untouchables 1987 isn't just a gangster film, it's a Hollywood classic filled with odd twists, wild decisions, and legendary performances. From Kevin Costner's uncharacteristic accent to Sean Connery's almost comical yet iconic role, the movie is full of stories that go beyond the action. The strange decisions that shaped the film turned it into a masterpiece that's still talked about today. Get ready to uncover weird facts about The Untouchables 1987 that will make you appreciate the movie in a whole new way. Sean Connery's role was almost replaced. Sean Connery's role as Jim Malone was iconic, but it almost didn't happen. Originally, the filmmakers considered casting older stars like Gregory Peck or Robert Mitchum for the part of the veteran cop. Connery himself wasn't sure about taking the role either. He had just won an Oscar for The Name of the Rose 1986 and was weary of playing similar characters. What's strange is that Connery was not the first choice, but once he took the part, it became one of his most memorable roles. His performance added gravitas to the film, and he ended up winning the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for it. What started as an afterthought turned into the emotional core of the movie, proving that sometimes the most unexpected casting decisions can elevate a film to legendary status. Kevin Costner's accent was criticized. Kevin Costner's portrayal of Eliot Ness is central to The Untouchables, but his American accent faced criticism. The odd part? Costner's accent seemed inconsistent, especially for a character who was supposed to be a quintessential, hard-working Chicagoan. Some critics noted that his accent sounded more like a Midwestern actor, trying too hard to fit the role. Ironically, this weird accent decision actually added to Ness's vulnerability. It made him seem less like the invincible hero and more like a man trying to play in the big leagues. Despite the mixed reaction, Costner's performance worked. His accent didn't hold him back, and he still became a major Hollywood star. The weird truth? In trying to craft an authentic character, Costner's accent became part of Ness's complex identity. The baby carriage scene was inspired by real history. One of the most famous and violent moments in The Untouchables is the baby carriage shootout on the steps of a train station. The scene is inspired by the real-life St. Valentine's Day massacre, where Al Capone's men executed 7 members of a rival gang in Chicago. However, the use of a baby carriage was added for dramatic effect. Director Brian De Palma was influenced by the silent film Battleship Potemkin 1925, where a baby carriage rolls down the steps amid chaos. De Palma wanted to show the violence and the innocence lost in the war between Capone's men and the law. The weird part? This moment wasn't based directly on the massacre, but instead inspired by cinematic history, proving that The Untouchables was just as much about paying homage to film history as it was about telling Capone's story. The famous "Stone You Are" line was improvised. The film's iconic "Stone You Are" line, spoken by Sean Connery's Jim Malone, wasn't in the script. In fact, it was a completely improvised moment. The line came about during a scene where Malone is trying to convince Eliot Ness, Kevin Costner, to take on a dangerous mission to bring down Capone. Connery's impromptu delivery and the chemistry between him and Costner turned the moment into one of the most memorable in the film. The weird part? This line was not planned at all. Connery's improvisation, combined with his effortless charm, added a spark to the film's otherwise tense atmosphere. It shows that sometimes the best moments in film are born from actors' instincts and the freedom to improvise. Robert De Niro's Capone was partly based on his own personality. Robert De Niro's portrayal of Al Capone was brilliant, but what's surprising is that it was inspired by aspects of De Niro's own personality. De Niro worked hard to study Capone's mannerisms, but he also injected his own persona into the role. Known for his intense method acting, De Niro focused on Capone's duality. He was both ruthless and charming. The weird part? De Niro's natural ability to slip between contrasting personalities helped him embody Capone in a way that made him more relatable, almost human. His intimidating performance wasn't just about research, it was about drawing from his own ability to be both menacing and charismatic. De Niro's mix of preparation and personal instinct turned Capone into a character who haunted the screen, blending real history with Hollywood's version of the gangster. The set was almost shut down for safety issues. Filming The Untouchables wasn't just about capturing drama, it was also a dangerous affair. During the production, safety on set became a significant concern, particularly during the complex shootout scenes. In one memorable moment, De Palma shot a brutal scene involving real firearms. The weird part? The set was nearly shut down after multiple safety violations, especially concerning the handling of blanks and pyrotechnics. The crew had to be extremely careful with the heavy gunfire, and at one point, the entire production almost came to a halt due to concerns about crew and actor safety. Despite the tension, the film finished shooting and captured the raw energy of those dangerous times, but it shows how precarious action films can be during production. The director's approach to violence was unique. Brian De Palma is known for his stylish, often controversial use of violence. For The Untouchables, he didn't want the violence to feel gratuitous, but instead wanted it to carry weight and emotional impact. The strange part? De Palma took influence from The Godfather and other classic mob films, where violence is often seen as a consequence of moral decay rather than mere spectacle. For De Palma, each violent act in The Untouchables was a metaphor for the collapse of society's moral fabric during Prohibition. This thoughtful approach to violence set the film apart from other gangster films and gave it a deeper emotional resonance. The weird part? The violence became a narrative device, helping push the story forward in a way that made the audience reflect on the brutal reality of the time. Kevin Costner's stunts were mostly real. Kevin Costner performed most of his own stunts in The Untouchables, including some of the most dangerous action sequences. One of the most intense scenes was when Ness is chasing a group of Capone's men through the streets of Chicago. In those moments, Costner had to jump over obstacles, run at full speed, and even handle heavy firearms. The weird part? Costner was not a trained stuntman, but he insisted on doing as much as he could to make the action feel real and immersive. His commitment to authenticity led to some truly impressive scenes, with the audience feeling the sweat and intensity of the chase. This hands-on approach to his stunts helped Costner become a major action star, proving that sometimes the best performances are the ones that come from physical risk and personal dedication. The real-life Ness was more complex than the movie. The real Eliot Ness was a much more complex figure than The Untouchables portrays. In the movie, he's shown as a nearly flawless hero, driven by a sense of justice and duty. In reality, Ness was a man struggling with his own demons, including alcohol abuse and strained personal relationships. The weird part? The film simplifies his story to make him a more relatable figure, but in doing so, it misses the deeper complexity of his character. Ness did play a key role in taking down Capone, but he wasn't the squeaky clean hero the film makes him out to be. The Untouchables focuses on his achievements, but glosses over his personal challenges. The weird contrast is that while the film portrays a man of idealism, the real Ness was a flawed figure fighting both crime and his own personal battles. The movie's iconic score was almost different. Ennio Morricone's score for The Untouchables is one of the most iconic in cinematic history, but it almost didn't happen. Initially, the film's producers considered a more traditional, orchestral score that might have been more aligned with other gangster films. The weird part? Morricone, known for his work on The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly, initially didn't think his style would fit the film. He created a score that mixed dramatic orchestral elements with haunting, minimalist motifs that became instantly recognizable. The final result became a perfect companion to the film's tense atmosphere. Morricone's unconventional approach helped make The Untouchables not just a crime film, but a high-stakes thriller. The weird twist is that the iconic music we associate with the film almost never existed. It was a gamble that paid off in unforgettable sound.